Um, so I was out of hospital all day with my father who's having surgery, and I lost my copy of the Nelson and Pill da 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 name Nelson's paper. So I don't have my outlined or highlighted copy. Left it somewhere in a waiting room. But I do have my copy of the other one, so let me get to those questions for group 2. According to Polkinghorne, who was impossible to read, how can we compare organisms to social groups? Um, on page 140 of his Systems and Structures, um, he defines the organism, they said, as a functioning unit, and is the unit which determines the characteristics of the parts. It is not the characteristics of the parts which determine the qualities of the whole. I feel like that basically describes our whole system. But anyway, he goes on to talk about how this affects our social systems and how we can relate organisms to our social systems. Characteristics of the unit on page 141, which referred to in larger human collectives, right, such as the economic system, the law, and moral customs. I think what he's basically saying here is that an organism is made up of several parts put together, but we still research it as a whole, opposed to looking at the individual sections that actually create the whole to assess what it is. So that would be my analysis of that question. For the second question, according to Nelson and blah 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 text, sorry, I'm in a mood today. What are the rules of a critical researcher versus a more traditional researcher? Is there a place in the research world for both? Critical researcher, as defined on page, oh crud, sorry, as defined on page 280, no, yes, sorry, 281, 278. A critical researcher has its roots in participatory, you know what I'm saying, research, action research, feminist research, and anti-racist research. I felt like critical research was also possibly a study of an organism, not as just a part, but as a whole. Critical research is investigating those parts, opposed to, or investigating individuals, which create a whole. I felt that critical research is a far more in-depth way to research, varying on what topic you're covering. And is there a way for them both to live together? I think there is a way for both to live together. Traditional research obviously is beneficial in some fashion, but again, it can be biased toward certain races, toward certain sexes, but it does have its pluses. I mean, obviously, if we've gotten somewhere with traditional research, there's an advantage to it in some shape or form, but critical research seems to be a far more engaging look at society as a whole, and it is far more detailed, so I would prefer that method. Not my best post, but hopefully not my worst, and look at that, I'm under 8 minutes, so that's impressive. Alright, thanks